Good evening. Hello. How are you people? Can you hear me clearly? Do you hear me clearly? Yes, Res. Yes, Res. Mouse dila endu komata. Mouse denna. Mouse denna. Mokada mouse enga. Right. Good evening, everyone. Hope you can hear me clearly. Can you hear me? Yes, you can hear me. Ne? Am I audible? Yes. Can you hear me clearly? Yes, right? Okay. So, people, we are going to discuss paper number 12 today. Can't hear. Can you hear? No? Yes or no? Come on. No, okay. Alright, okay. Fine. So, it's paper number 12 discussion, people. Paper number 12 discussion. Paper number 12 discussion. Right. So, paper 12, let's move to paper 12. Paper 12. Right. This is the paper that you have to submit this Saturday. Saturday, you have to submit this paper. Paper number 12. I hope you have answered it by now. Right, that is why I'm taking the discussion. Right, so paper number 12. Okay, did you answer the paper? How many of you have answered the paper by now? Please raise your hand if you have not answered the paper. Mithlima, we don't send the paper by post. We don't send the paper by post. We can't do that. It's going to be delayed. No, you have to Hirushan says, sir, can you, no, just Hirushan, leave, there is no point joining if you haven't done the paper now. I think I have uploaded it to the website, right? Uploaded it to the website. I'm not supposed to give you the paper now because this is the discussion, no? This is a discussion, not the giving you the paper and then I'm answering the paper and neither. I'm not doing it for myself, neither. This is for you. How many of you have answered the paper, people? How many of you have answered the paper? Please raise your hand up. Please raise your hand up. One person have answered the paper. Two people have answered the paper. 3, 4, 5, 5, 6 people have answered. 9, 10. That's good. That's good. That's good. Satisfactory number is there. So I'll go with the discussion. I'll go with the discussion. Right. I'll go with the discussion. If you haven't answered the paper, people, no point of staying in the class. I think you better leave. And if you have answered the paper, you can go with the discussion. Otherwise, you write the paper. Write the paper, then you collect the papers. If you have not answered it, collect the paper bundle and the marking scheme bundle, keep them aside. The one side papers, the other side marking schemes. And so what else you can do? Right, collect them and then people one day you can burn them and then apply some ash on your forehead. So that is a good method. If you haven't done the papers, that is what you should do. Collect them and then burn it and then apply ash on your forehead, right? So that all the knowledge will goes into the brain. So I'm expecting you, because the 2 weeks have given. 2 weeks have given. No one can say that you have not received the PDF to send now, and then that's like very poor situation. Hari, we can't. I don't think we should wait for the PDF. PDF is uploaded. Is a PDF is uploaded, people? I remember uploading it. I think it's uploaded. I can't check it right now. Is it uploaded or not? Online students? Are there any online students in the class? Are there any online students? I can check that. It's going to take time. Right? It's going to take time, some time. Maybe I can do that. Right. Uh, 2027, the 2027, let me see. I have uploaded it. Is it uploaded online, people? Anyone from the online class? Nobody from the online class? Only the physical students? Anyone from Mithilima is there? Mithilima is from online class. Paper number 12 is uploaded, right? Uploaded days back, right? So I don't expect any excuses because we can't wait neither. We can't wait for your excuses, and until everything the world set for you people, we can't wait because the exam date is closing, and then people, we have to finish the work, right, without taking much time. I had to give you the next paper, I had to give you the marking scheme, we had to do a lot of work, so we can't wait with the weak people. There are some people are weak, we can't wait for the weak people to finish the work, right? They will never finish the work. Some people are there just giving excuses, people. Some people are there just giving excuses. We can't work with them. Can't work with them. No? So we don't need excuses. We need work, right? It has to be finished whatsoever. This has to be done, right? So we'll go with the discussion. We'll go with the discussion. Question number 1, people. Which of the following event take place in matrix of mitochondria? Which of the following take place in the matrix of mitochondria? Right? Oxaloacetate convert into citric acid. Matrix of mitochondria. Which of the following event take place in the matrix of mitochondria? Oxaloacetate, OAA, convert into citric acid happens in the mitochondrial, it happens in the mitochondrial matrix. That is correct. That happens in the mitochondrial matrix. If you remember the event, people, if you remember the event, mitochondrial matrix, right? Mitochondrial matrix, the Krebs cycle occurs in the mitochondrial matrix. This is the inner membrane of mitochondrion. This is the site where the Krebs cycle occurs. You remember, people, OAA turns into citrate. OAA turns into citrate. Right? OA becomes citrate. So this happens, people. This happens. Right? This happens. This happens in the mitochondrial matrix. So that is correct. Mitochondrial matrix is correct. And second one, people. Second one is people, formation of the pyruvate from glucose. Formation of pyruvate from glucose. Pyruvate from glucose. That happens in the glycolysis. That happens in glycolysis. So that is wrong. Pyruvate from glucose is a glycolysis event. So that is wrong. Oxidative phosphorylation. Oxidative phosphorylation happens on the mitochondrial inner membrane. Wrong. Formation of acetyl coenzyme A. Formation of acetyl coenzyme A from glucose. Formation of acetyl coenzyme A from glucose happens in from glucose. Acetyl coenzyme A from pyruvate happens in the mitochondrial matrix. From glucose, because of that the word glucose we'll take it as wrong. Formation of water molecule. Formation of water molecules take place on the inner membrane of the mitochondrion. So that we take that as wrong. So we got the answer, people. First one is the answer. First one is the answer. Question number 2. Question number 2, fermentation. Fermentation always produce carbon dioxide. Fermentation. Two types of fermentation are there. One is ethyl alcohol fermentation. The other one is lactic acid fermentation. Two fermentations are there, right? Two fermentations present. So, fermentation always produce carbon dioxide. Wrong. You know, in lactic acid fermentation, no carbon dioxide release. Always occur in the cells without mitochondria. Always occur in the cells without mitochondria. Always occur in the cells without mitochondria. Fermentation always occur in cells without mitochondria. Now, bacteria, people, fermentation can occur neither. Bacteria fermentation can occur, but eukaryotes, like in plant cells, the fermentation can take place. Now, you know, lactic acid formation happen in your body cells too. Your body cells, lactic acid fermentation take place too, right? So, therefore, it's need not to be a prokaryotic organism to carry out fermentation. Need not to be a prokaryotic organism to carry out fermentation. So, always occur in the cells without mitochondria, wrong. Occurs in all bacteria. Occurs in all bacteria. Occurs in all bacteria, wrong. Always produce 2 ATP. Always produce 2 ATP. Fermentation process always produce 2 ATP. Always produce NAD plus. Always produce. Fermentation is not involving in forming any ATP. Neither. Fermentation is the pyruvate turning into lactic acid or pyruvate turning into the ethyl alcohol. And in that step, there is no ATP formation. You know, ATP formation only happen through glycolysis. ATP formation happen through glycolysis, right? ATP formation occur through glycolysis. So, therefore, I am taking that as wrong. Always produce NAD plus. That is correct. During fermentation, people, we can see that NAD plus is produced. NAD plus is produced during fermentation. We'll have a look at that, people. We'll have a look at that process. Fermentation, if you take, when you take fermentation, glucose become pyruvate transforms into lactate or ethanol, lactate or ethanol, and here we can see NAD plus becomes NADH, and this is the reverse event. So, NADH becomes NAD plus. So, what this question says, people, always produce NAD plus. NAD plus from NADH. NAD plus from NADH becomes NAD plus during this the fermentation process. This part is fermentation. This part is glycolysis. This part is glycolysis, okay? Right? So, we say that the entire process has the anaerobic respiration. Entire process is anaerobic respiration. Alright? Entire process is anaerobic respiration. So, here always produce NAD plus is correct. So, that has to be the answer. Question number 3, ATP for transport of NADH from glycolysis to the mitochondrial matrix is obtained from. ATP needed for transport of NADH from is repeating. I will take it as one word. ATP needed for the transport of NADH from glycolysis to the mitochondrial matrix is obtained from. ATP needed for the transport of NADH from glycolysis to the mitochondrial matrix is taken from what is the answer for that? Taken from third one, ATP needed for the transport of NADH from glycolysis to the mitochondrial matrix. Glycolysis, Krebs cycle, oxidative phosphorylation, NADH, pyruvate oxidation. I'll take people glycolysis as the best answer here. Right, oxidative phosphorylation happens inside the mitochondrial matrix. So probably for this transport, the glycolysis helps. So we'll take first one as the answer for that. We'll take first one as the answer. Question number 4, people. Question number 4, which of the following is common to both aerobic respiration and alcohol fermentation? Following is common to both aerobic respiration and alcohol fermentation. Formation of FADH2. Following is common to both aerobic respiration and alcohol fermentation. Formation of FADH2. Electrons are accepted by oxygen. Oxidative phosphorylation. Release of carbon dioxide. Combines with acetyl coenzyme A. Following is common for aerobic respiration and alcohol fermentation. Aerobic respiration and alcohol fermentation. We'll take formation of FADH2 wrong. Neither. Electrons are accepted by oxygen. No, that doesn't happen. Oxidative phosphorylation, no. Oxidative phosphorylation is no. Wait, people, my computer some problem. Give me 1 minute, people. Computer problem. All right. Saved. Right, battery issue. Now, okay. Right, people. Formation of FADH2. Oxidative phosphorylation, we'll take it as wrong. Release of carbon dioxide, both aerobic respiration and alcohol fermentation. That is correct. Combines with acetyl coenzyme A. Acetyl coenzyme A involves in aerobic respiration only. So we'll take, people, release of carbon dioxide. The ethyl alcohol fermentation, carbon dioxide is going to be released. And then also we can see that it happens in the aerobic respiration too. The carbon dioxide is released by during the Krebs cycle. So release of carbon dioxide. Mariam says release of carbon dioxide. Very good, Mariam. Right. Next one, people. Not a product of anaerobic respiration. Not a product of anaerobic respiration. Ethanol is a product. Carbon dioxide is a product. Sometimes lactic acid can be a product. NAD plus is a product. ATP is not a product. So fifth question, people, we can take not a product of anaerobic respiration. Wait, I'm wrong. Not a product of anaerobic respiration. We'll take, people, ethanol is a product. Lactic acid is a product. NAD is a product. They say anaerobic respiration. No. Anaerobic respiration include glycolysis. So therefore we can take ATP too. Carbon dioxide, not a product in anaerobic respiration. Carbon dioxide, we have a problem there. We have a problem there. What did you take? What did you take as the answer? Not a product of anaerobic respiration. I don't have a proper answer. Right? Anaerobic respiration includes, right? Anaerobic respiration includes anaerobic respiration includes, right? Anaerobic respiration includes the glycolysis too. It includes glycolysis too. But we know every time in anaerobic respiration there is no carbon dioxide release. Right? Ethanol we can take. Carbon dioxide is doubtful because it's not produced in lactic acid fermentation. Lactic acid also a problem. Lactic acid can be produced. So I don't have a proper answer for that. What did you mark? What did you mark? Right? What did you mark, people? I don't have proper answer on that. There is a small error in the question. Should I have given it in slightly different way? So there is a question, right? But right, we'll move to the next question, people. We'll move to next question. ATP. Hirusha says ATP, right? Maybe ATP because it says anaerobic respiration. If it is said If it is given as fermentation, fermentation, what it says? Not a product of anaerobic respiration. If it is says not a final product of anaerobic respiration, or maybe it says not a product of fermentation, then correct ATP. Not a product of fermentation, then correct. Yeah, not a product of fermentation is correct. So I thought of ATP first, but we'll just leave the question. Nah? So some error is there in the question. Okay, so question number 7, people. Question number 6, neither. Question number 6. Question number 6, compared to compound that accepts hydrogen in anaerobic respiration, compound that accepts hydrogen in anaerobic respiration, compound that accepts hydrogen in anaerobic respiration, compound that accepts hydrogen in anaerobic respiration. So what is that? Compound that accepts hydrogen. Now it's like this, hydrogen of this H plus of this one is accepted by lactate or acetaldehyde, neither. Lactate or ethanol. Lactate or ethanol, right? So the answer has to be either lactate or ethanol. Wait, right? NADH is accepted by, now in this case, NADH. NADH is given to pyruvate. Pyruvate reduces into lactate. NADH is given to pyruvate. So the acceptor is this one. What form because of that is that? Then here people in ethyl alcohol fermentation, acetaldehyde. Acetaldehyde. So this H is given to acetaldehyde. What forms is ethanol. So therefore, when they ask people for the acceptor, it has to be either pyruvate or acetaldehyde, right? Either acetaldehyde, pyruvate or acetaldehyde. So I'm taking the answer here. No, this one is wrong. FAD wrong. This is correct. This is wrong. This is wrong. Ne? Question number 7, people. Correct statement regarding fermentation. They always release carbon dioxide. Wrong. Ne? They always produce lactic acid. Wrong. Oxidation of NADH always produce energy. Oxidation of NADH always produce energy. Oxidation of NADH always produces energy. We'll take it as wrong. Neither. And then people, final electron acceptor is always pyruvate. Final electron acceptor is always pyruvate. No, because in the lactic acid fermentation it's pyruvate, but in ethanol fermentation it is acetaldehyde. We learn it now. Then glycolysis is always the first step of them. Glycolysis is always the first step of them. Glycolysis is always the first step of them. Yeah, that is correct. Ne? That is correct. 5th one is the answer. Question number 8, people. Which of the following is not common to aerobic and anaerobic respiration? Which of the following is not common for both aerobic and anaerobic respiration? Substrate level phosphorylation. Substrate level phosphorylation. Substrate level phosphorylation is the formation of ATP that happens in the glycolysis. This says anaerobic respiration and aerobic respiration. Substrate level phosphorylation, correct. Is not common, yahanne? Not common, kilahanne. So you can't take substrate level phosphorylation. Utilizing of ATP. Aerobic and anaerobic respiration, glycolysis, initially 2 ATP molecules are going to be used. Release of carbon dioxide. Aerobic and anaerobic respiration, release of carbon dioxide. Ethyl alcohol fermentation, carbon dioxide release. Lactic acid fermentation, no. Aerobic respiration releases. Oxidation of chemical substances. Oxidation of chemical substances. Common to both aerobic and anaerobic respiration. Aerobic and anaerobic respiration common. Oxidation of chemical substances. Oxidation of chemical substances. Aerobic respiration, the oxidation occur in the Krebs cycle. anaerobic respiration reduction take place, ne? Obtaining NAD plus NAD plus as a product. Obtaining NAD plus as a product. Obtaining NAD as a product, aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. NAD plus. How about that NAD plus story, people? NAD plus happen here. Krebs cycle also NAD plus can be formed. NAD plus can be formed in the electron transport chain. This says not a common to aerobic and anaerobic respiration, right? So this is actually pyruvate to lactic acid is pyruvate to acetyl, pyruvate to lactic acid is a reduction. What it says? Oxidation of NADH always produce, oxidation of chemical substances. Oxidation of chemical substances. Obtaining NAD plus as a product. NAD plus. So you take pyruvate become acetyl CoA. Acetyl CoA. Here we can see NADH is produced. NAD plus becomes NADH. And then acetyl coenzyme A undergoes the Krebs cycle, right? OAA citrate, citrate. Then here in many steps NAD plus becomes NADH. NADH, NAD plus becomes NADH. The question says substrate level phosphorylation is, people, this ATP production process. Here the ADP becomes ATP. So it happens in glycolysis, which is part of the anaerobic respiration, and it happens in Krebs cycle. So substrate level phosphorylation is correct. Utilization of ATP correct. Release of carbon dioxide doubtful, because in anaerobic respiration acetaldehyde, here people ethanol fermentation it releases, but in lactic acid fermentation there is no release. What did you take as the answer? Oxidation of chemical substances. Chemical substances oxidize. It doesn't specify for anything. Chemical substances, oxidation of chemical substances. Obtaining NAD plus as a product. Obtaining NAD plus as a product. Here we can see NADH is formed, but in anaerobic respiration NAD plus is reformed. Krebs cycle NAD plus becomes NADH, right? Aerobic respiration NADH is produced as the end product. Oxidation, obtaining NAD plus as a product. NAD plus as a product. So people, if you come for this question, I don't have once again a proper answer for that. So can't we take release of carbon dioxide as it does not take place in lactic acid fermentation? That is what I thought of, right? Aerobic respiration release carbon dioxide, anaerobic respiratory pathways do not release any carbon dioxide. That is anaerobic, what do you say? Aerobic respiration releases carbon dioxide, anaerobic pathways, lactic acid do not release. Yeah, only for lactic acid. Ethanol fermentation, it releases carbon dioxide. Right? Ethanol fermentation, it releases carbon dioxide. So that is the problem. That is a problem. Which of the following is not common for both aerobic and anaerobic respiration? Right, I'll just leave that with a question. We can think of third one as a close best answer. But thing is, people, obtaining NAD plus as a product. NADH as a product. So if you select people. Third one looks like an answer, but it's not a good question. We don't have a clear answer for that. But anyway, question number 9, people. Question number 9. Question number 9. Question number 9. Right, question number 9. Which of the following is correct regarding origin of life on Earth and evolution? Origin of life on Earth and evolution. Synthesis of organic molecules from inorganic molecules occurred in the ocean. Which of the following correct regarding origin of life on Earth? We'll take correct regarding either. Synthesis of organic molecules from inorganic molecules occurred in the ocean. Inorganic molecules occurred in the synthesis of organic molecules from inorganic molecules occurred in the ocean. Protocell was formed by accumulation of RNA into lipid and protein bound vesicles. Correct regarding origin of life on Earth and evolution. Protocell was formed by accumulation of RNA into lipid and protein bound vesicles. Tetrapods evolved from lobed finfish. Tetrapod evolved from lobed finfish. The origin of human lineage took place 10 million years ago. That is wrong, neither. This is wrong, 195,000 years ago. Fossil of the oldest known protist are similar to brown algae. No, we said red algae. We said red algae, right? Tetrapods evolved from lobe finfish is correct. Second one, protocell was formed by accumulation of RNA into lipid-bound vesicles. Let's check that part, people. What they have given for us, right? Let's check what they have given, right? Here, let's say people origin of the protocells. Let's see what they say, right? They say origin of the protocells. The RNA accumulated in lipid bound vesicles to form protocells. RNA accumulated. It says the RNA accumulated into lipid bound vesicles and form protocells, which exhibit enzyme catalyzed activities and were able to grow, replicate and evolve. Lipid bound vesicles. Our question says lipid and protein bound. Our statement says protocells were formed by accumulation of RNA into lipid and protein bound vesicles. Resource book says RNA accumulated into lipid bound vesicles and formed. Right? The early genes and the enzymes would have been RNA. These RNA molecules enable the self-replication. Other molecules were in the primitive soup were collected to form protocells. Okay. So what they say is, people, atmospheric condition of the early earth facilitated the abiotic synthesis of small organic molecules such as amino acids and nitrogen bases from inorganic molecules. It says, people, atmospheric condition. This not happen in the ocean. Atmospheric condition, right? So atmospheric condition. So if you take these two, right? Protocell were formed by accumulation of RNA into lipid and protein. Synthesis of organic molecules from inorganic molecules occurred in the ocean. Ocean is wrong, right? The third one is the best answer for the 9th question. Third one is the answer for the 9th question. You can see, people, these questions are sharp. You have to memorize, people, sometimes the resource book, each and every word. That's challenging, but that's the nature of this exam, people. That is the nature of the exam. So you have to get used to this. These points, people, we have to discuss previously before exam, right? That is the whole aim of these the weekday night discussions, right? So you are with me and we do these discussions, right? It's some busy time neither for you. Ne? Question number 10, people, occurs in Cenozoic era. Occurs in Cenozoic era. Cenozoic era. Formation of extensive forest of the vascular plants. Cenozoic extensive forest of vascular plants. Vascular plants were formed during the Paleozoic, neither. Paleozoic, not in Cenozoic, wrong. Origin and radiation of reptiles, Paleozoic, wrong. Origin of the mammals, mammals origin, Mesozoic, so not Cenozoic, wrong. Extinction of dinosaurs, Mesozoic, wrong. Major radiation of mammals, birds and pollinating insects, that's correct. Fifth one is the answer for question number 10, 5. Question number 11, 3 eras of Phanerozoic era is correct chronological sequence are. The 3 eras of Phanerozoic era. 3 eras of Phanerozoic eon, neither. There is a small error here, eon. Eon is in correct chronological sequence. The 3 eras of the Phanerozoic. What is that, people? Paleozoic, Mesozoic, Cenozoic. So we have the answer. 11th question, people, second one is the answer. Question number 12. Question number 12. Which of the following is included in Lamarck's theory? Which of the following is included in Lamarck's theory? Population of species vary in characteristics among their inheritance trait. Population of species varies in characteristics among their inheritance trait. Population of species varies in their characteristics among the inheritance trait. Population of species varies in characteristics among their inheritance trait. Population of a species varies in characteristics among their inheritance trait. Which of the following includes in the Lamarck's theory? Like Lamarck's theory. Vary in their characteristic among the inheritance traits. Each species produce more offsprings. Make a lamai Darwin, the maker also second also Darwin. Organism acquired adaptation during their lifetime according to the need of the environment is correct. Third one, resistance against diseases is favorable for survival and reproduction of organisms. Darwinism. The part of the body that used extensively become deteriorate. Neither. Extensively not deteriorating. Neither. Improved. Neither. So therefore, people, we can take third one as the answer. Question number 13. Question number 13. Select the correct statement regarding the condition of the earth before life. Correct statement regarding the condition of the earth before life. Earth was formed about 4.6 million years ago. Wrong, neither. Billion years ago. The first atmosphere was probably thick with considerable amount of oxygen. First atmosphere was probably thick with considerable amount of oxygen. No. Wrong, neither. Very small amount of oxygen. The first atmosphere had nitrogen, carbon dioxide, hydrogen, sulfur dioxide, ammonia and methane. The first atmosphere had nitrogen, carbon dioxide, hydrogen, sulfur dioxide, ammonia and methane. Right? That looks correct, neither. That looks okay, ne? First atmosphere of the earth was a neutral one. No, it was reducing atmosphere, right? When the earth was cooling down, some hydrogen sulfide quickly escaped. Hydrogen sulfide, wrong, neither. Hydrogen gas escaped. Right? Hydrogen gas escaped. So, 13, the answer is 3. Someone says 13, the answer is 3rd. Good, very good. Which of the following statement is incorrect regarding protist? Mariam, neither. Which of the following statement is incorrect regarding protist and their corresponding habitats? Protist and their corresponding habitats. What is your answer, people? Amoeba, freshwater, marine water. Incorrect gahan freshwater, marine water, amoeba. Euglena. All are freshwater. Diatoms. freshwater, marine water. Diatoms, freshwater, marine water, which of the following statement incorrect? This is okay, ne? Gelidium, marine water is correct. Sargassum, marine water is correct. Amoeba, freshwater and marine water correct. Euglena, all are freshwater wrong, neither. Euglena, all are freshwater wrong, right? All are freshwater wrong. What we said about Euglena? What we said about Euglena? Look at this. Euglena. Euglena. What it says? Freshwater and marine water. Neither. Freshwater and marine water. Right. So that's wrong. Question number 15. Species name for the Sri Lankan leopard are correctly mentioned here. Panthera pardus, capital P. Second one is wrong. Panthera pardus cotia. Panthera pardus cotia. Panthera pardus cotia. This is wrong. This has to be italicsed. Pardus, wrong. Panthera pardus K, wrong. We'll take people Panthera pardus cotia, species name for the organism. Panthera pardus cotia. Right? So, it's wrong. Panthera pardus, let's take people how it is given in the resource book. Panthera pardus, binomial nomenclature. Who's the person to describe it, Linnaeus? Binomial nomenclature, present system of classification and its basis. Codes. Panthera pardus cotia. Nothing neither. The Coccus nucifera nang L ne. Now look at this, people. Methana L is not italicized. This L is not italicized. In our question, people, K is italicized. Can you say K is, can you see, people, this K is italicized. So that is another error. Ne? We don't know the author here who actually gave the name. But anyway, K, I think not for the name of the person, K for the Kotia, I think. Oh, you can't write it like this. Kotia, K ladan, right? You can't put the Kotia like capital K dot ne. Right? Kotia didn't nomenclature. We are writing the person who named it, and the author's name is abbreviated. Kotia is not the author neither. Right? So that is why it's wrong. Anyway, we will question number 16. Question number 16. Question number 16. The basis for the present day classification. The basis for the present day classification: morphology, anatomy, cytology, nutritional type. Basis for the present day: base sequence of the DNA of mitochondria and chloroplast. Shall we take that fifth one as the answer? Question number 17. Species which grown would be inhibited by antibiotics. Inhibited by antibiotics has to be a bacterium. Inalama Escherichia coli. Methanococcus is archibacteria. So wrong. Amoeba eukarya. Helobacterium archibacteria. Euglena eukarya. So answer has to be Escherichia coli, which is a bacterium. And then people, the next one people, next one, incorrect regarding amoeba. Incorrect regarding amoeba. Incorrect statement regarding amoeba contain both food vacuole and contractile vacuole. Amoeba, food vacuole and contractile vacuole, correct. Utilizes pseudopodia for the both feeding and locomotion. Pseudopodia for both feeding and locomotion, correct. Do not contain cell wall, correct. They are not a unicellular organism, wrong. Unicellular. They do not contain definite shape, correct. So we have the answer, fourth one. Question number 19. Question number 19. The event which is not occurred in Phanerozoic eon. Sudden increasing in the diversity of many animal phyla. Phanerozoic increased diversity during the Cambrian period and all. Presence of soft-bodied invertebrates. Presence of soft-bodied invertebrates. that is a doubt neither. And dominance of the conifers, correct. Conifers. Phanerozoic neither, Mesozoic. Dominant of the conifers, correct. Diversification of vascular plants, correct. Origin of the flowering plants and the diversification. Mesozoic era is Phanerozoic, correct. Then presence of soft-bodied, will take that as the answer neither. Presence of soft-bodied, will take that one as the answer. That one as the answer, right? Why that is the answer? Why that is the answer? Reason is this. Soft-bodied, lamai. Archean, what it says? It says people 600 ancestors, according to ancestors, the animal phyla 670. According to DNA analysis, sponge evolved in 700 million years ago. Ancestors of arthropods and chordates. Right? Soft-bodied kila spongy kila the spongy. They don't have hard body. Soft-bodied. Methanolami proterozoic. Proterozoic soft-bodied mentioned here. Soft-bodied is mentioned here. Proterozoic. So then it's wrong. Then it is wrong. Right? Proterozoic. So we'll take question number 20 now. Question number 20 now, people. An event took place in Mesozoic era. An event took place in Mesozoic era. Amphibians dominated the Mesozoic era. Amphibians dominated. Marine algae became abundant. Amphibians dominated, wrong. Marine algae became abundant. Marine algae became abundant. We'll take it as wrong. Neither. Origin of reptiles, Mesozoic. No. Dinosaurs, neither. Origin of mammals, correct. Origin of many primate, no. So we have the answer. Fourth one is the answer. Fourth one is the answer. Question number 21. Correct statement regarding organisms of kingdom Protista. Correct statement regarding organisms of kingdom Protista. Right? Organisms of kingdom Protista. Diatoms live only in marine waters. Diatoms live only in marine waters. Correct statement regarding kingdom Protista. Diatoms lives only in marine waters. Wrong, neither marine and freshwater both. Geridium is supported by gas-filled bubbles. Sagasam, neither wrong. Amoeba are mixotrophic. Amoeba mixotrophic, no. Euglena. Paramecium, cilia and flagella cover the cell surface. In paramecium, cilia and flagella covers the cell surface. Paramecium, cilia and flagella cover the cell surface. Flagella wrong, neither. And then people, ulva has thalloid bodies with multicellularity. That is correct. Fifth one is the answer. Question number 22, people. The Panthera is a mammal. Taxon of Panthera and Mammalia are respectively. Taxon of Panthera and Mammalia are respectively. Specific epithet and order. Taxon of Panthera and Mammalia are respectively. Mammalia is the class, neither. Right? Panthera is the genus. Panthera is a genus. So genus and the class. Genus and the class. So we'll take third one as the answer. Question number 23. Question number 23. The first photosynthetic organism evolved on the earth is first photosynthetic organism, red algae, flowering plants, euglena, cyanobacteria, that is cyanobacteria. Cyanobacteria. Fourth one is the answer. Fourth one is the answer. Question number 24. You have to answer based on the key. Question number 24 based on the key. Which of the following statement regarding evolution and extinction of biodiversity is correct? Evolution and extinction of biodiversity is correct. Tetrapods originate from a lobed fin fish. Correct. Amphibians, reptiles and conifers were first present in Carboniferous forest. Amphibians, reptiles and conifers trees were the first present in Carboniferous forest. Amphibians, reptiles and conifer trees were present in conifers wrong neither. Conifers wrong neither. No. Appearance as well as extinction of the dinosaurs and the origin of the flowering plants occurred during the same era. Correct. Flowering plants formed in the Mesozoic era. Dinosaurs disappeared. Origin and the disappearance both happened in the Mesozoic era. Correct. Insects and spiders were the first group of animals to colonize the land. Insects and spiders. Insects and the spiders. What we said, people? What we said? What were the first organisms? Fungi and arthropods. What was the given statement? What is the given statement, people? Regarding the first colonization? Fungi, plants and animals. The theme. Fungi, plants and animals. Fungi, plants and animals. Fungi, plants and animals. Right? So, fungi, plants and animals. Arthropoda, insects and spiders. Arthropoda, insects and spiders were the first group of organisms to colonize land. First group of organisms to colonize land. Arthropods, insects, spiders. So that's then correct. Correct. Sorry, this one is correct. This one, last one. The last one. The origin of the placental mammals is and dominance flowering plants occurred during the Mesozoic. Where are the name? Wrong, neither. Cenozoic, right, people? Is it Cenozoic? Is it Cenozoic? Is it Cenozoic? Origin of many primate groups, continued radiation of mammals, early direct human ancestors, bipedal, angiosperms, radiation. Not mentioned, the placental mammals not mentioned. Is it mentioned here? Lobed finfish, the divergence of human lineage and origin of human species took place 195,000. Divergence of human lineage from primates. Placental mammals not mentioned, so we will take it as wrong. Right? We will take it as wrong either. And question number 25, people, last question. Last question. Which of the following event occurred during the cellular respiration is correct? Reduction and oxidation of coenzymes respectively. Reduction and oxidation of coenzymes respectively occur during electron transport chain. Reduction and oxidation of coenzymes respectively occur during electron transport chain. Which of the following event occurred during cellular respiration is correct? Reduction and oxidation of coenzymes. Coenzymes, that is NAD. Reduction and oxidation of coenzymes respectively occur during electron transport chain. Actually, coenzymes are oxidizing. NADH become NAD plus in electron transport chain. Reduction and oxidation of coenzymes respectively occur during electron transport chain. We didn't learn anything like this. We didn't learn anything like that. Electron transport chain. So I'll take it as wrong. Not all the cells do glycolysis. Not all the cells do glycolysis. Wrong. All cells do glycolysis. In anaerobic respiration, reduction of NAD plus occur. Regeneration of NAD plus occur. Correct. Final hydrogen acceptor of lactic acid fermentation is 2-carbon product. Final hydrogen acceptor of lactic acid fermentation is 2-carbon product. Final hydrogen acceptor of lactic acid fermentation is 2-carbon product. Lactic acid fermentation can't be. Ethyl alcohol fermentation nang 2-carbon product is acetaldehyde. Correct. Lactic acid fermentation wrong. It is 3 carbon pyruvate is correct. 3 carbon pyruvate involves in as the final hydrogen acceptor. Calvin cycle occurs in the matrix of mitochondria. Calvin cycle, what is that? Wrong. Krebs cycle. C only kilagamuda. We'll take C only. First one, people, reduction and oxidation of coenzyme respectively occur during the electron transport chain. We didn't learn anything for electron transport chain in details. Let me check, people, electron transport chain, what we learned there. Electron transport chain, this much. In the electron transport chain, ATP is synthesized by oxidative phosphorylation. It says, people, මෙතන කියනවා early stages of aerobic respiration oxidized by transferring, and then mitochondria, series of protein, non-protein involving in movement of electrons and proteins across. Therefore, molecular oxygen is final acceptor. NADH and FADH produced in early stages of aerobic respiration are oxidized by transferring electrons. Oxidizing and reducing කතාවක් කියලා නැහැ. When the one molecule of NADH is oxidizing the electron transport chain, no, nothing neither. So I think we have the right answer here. C is the answer. C is the answer, right? C is the answer. All right. Okay. I know it's a little tough question paper, neither. Tough question paper. That's good. Gradually, people, we are now advancing, right, towards the advanced level. So this is helping you to series of this series is for you to help to answer questions accurately and to deal with tough questions. Deal with tough questions, right? So we are practicing that. People, structure essay paper. Structure essay paper. Right, structure essay paper, let's go for that. Structure essay paper. Structure essay paper. Structured essay paper. Structured essay paper, we'll go with that. Structured essay. What is the first question? The below given diagram shows aerobic respiration steps of eukaryotic cell. Then you have to identify these steps from A to D. Identify these steps from A to D. Right? Are you ready to check your answers? Ready? Are there any problems, people? Are there any problems? Do you have any issues? Can you see the board in sharing and all? Everything is okay? Clear, neither? Right? Clear, right? So let's check that part. The below given diagram shows aerobic respiratory steps in eukaryotic cells. Then you have to label A, B, C. A is glycolysis. A is glycolysis. A is glycolysis. A is glycolysis. B is pyruvate oxidation. C is Krebs cycle. D is oxidative phosphorylation. Right? Indicate the specific location. Glycolysis in cytosol, pyruvate oxidation in mitochondrial matrix, Krebs cycle in matrix of mitochondria, oxidative phosphorylation in mitochondrial inner membrane. 4 marks for writing them. 4 marks for writing them. Right? 4 marks for writing them. And then moving to next one, people. What is the reason for the step A to occur in specific location you mentioned in above? What is the reason for step A to occur? Glycolysis. Occur in specific location you mentioned in A above, because enzymes required for glycolysis are present in the, enzymes for the glycolysis are present in the cytosol. That's the reason. Which steps need oxygen in the above step? Oxygen needed in which steps? Oxygen is needed in D. Oxygen is needed in D. Need oxygen in the above steps. Oxygen is needed in D. Right, so we'll correct the marking scheme. I'll correct the marking scheme. Which steps need oxygen in the above steps? People, I'm taking only D as the answer. I'm taking only D as the answer. Hari, oxygen required people only for D. Ilagadlamai. Next question. What is the end product? What is the end product of step B? How many carbon atoms are found in that end product? What is the end product of step B? How many carbon atoms are found in that end product? End product of step B. Step B is people. End product of step B. What is step B? Step B, we said pyruvate. Step B. What is the end product of step B? How many carbon atoms? End product of step B, acetyl coenzyme, pyruvate oxidation. C is acetyl coenzyme A. No. C is Krebs cycle, we said. C is Krebs cycle. B is pyruvate oxidation. Then end product is acetyl coenzyme A. Indicate the product produced in step C. Indicate the products produced in step C. Step C is Krebs cycle. So FADH2, 2 FADH2, 6 NADH, 2 ATP. What is the significance of step D? Significance of step D. Energy ATP is produced by oxidative phosphorylation. ATP production by oxidative phosphorylation. Following questions are based on the diagram given below. Right? So they have marked A, B, C, D, those points. What is the question, people? What is the question? Name the compound given by the letters below. A. What is A? A protein. A is amino acid. A is amino acid. B is glycerol. C is fatty acid. C is fatty acid. Right? C fatty acid. What they ask now? A, B, C, D, E, X, Y, Z. D, E, X, Y, Z. Where is D? D is OAA. E is citrate. D is citrate. X, Y, Z. Z. How do you find that? X comes in many places. X has to be NADH. Lamai. X has to be NADH. 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 Y. X, Y, Z. Z. What is Y? Can you take Y as FADH2? And Z is formed with water. Z is with water. So Y is FADH2. Z is ATP. Z is then ATP. Z is ATP. Right. This is Y is FADH2. Looks okay, ne? State the number of net ATP produced in the process from 1 and 2. Net ATP production. Process 1. What is process 1, people? Process 1 name what budhe? What is process 1? Come on. Right? Is citric wrong for D? First question. Citric acid. Wrong, ne? The citric can't be, ne? It has to be A, ne? What is A, people? Glucose become pyruvate, ne? That is that is glycolysis, and then 2 is so 1 is glycolysis. This is glycolysis. So number of ATP produced is 2. Number 2 is people pyruvate oxidation and Krebs cycle. Pyruvate oxidation and Krebs cycle. Number 3 is people electron transport chain. Right? So we take it like that. Electron transport chain. Is it 28 electron transport chain? Is it 28 correct? Ne? 28 okay. Ne? Then people indicate the step at which the following substrates are utilized. Indicate the step at which following substrates are utilized. Fatty acids. Fatty acids, where it is utilized, indicate the step at which the following substrates are utilized. Fatty acids are forming acetyl coenzyme. Fatty acids form acetyl coenzyme A. So acetyl coenzyme A is the pyruvate oxidation step. We'll take that as pyruvate oxidation step. Pyruvate oxidation step. Then amino acid, pyruvate oxidation, glycolysis and Krebs cycle. Then sugars, glycolysis. Give the major steps where the decarboxylation take place in aerobic respiration, and these sites of each step. Give the major steps where the decarboxylation take place in aerobic respiration. Give the major steps where the decarboxylation take place in aerobic respiration. Pyruvate oxidation, decarboxylation occur. Krebs cycle, decarboxylation occur. Pyruvate oxidation and Krebs cycle. So this is the answer, pyruvate oxidation and Krebs cycle. And where it happens, matrix of mitochondria, both events, matrix of mitochondria. Next one people, next one, name the different types of ATP. Name different types of ATP production that occur during cellular respiration. Name different types of ATP production that occur during cellular respiration. Substrate level phosphorylation, oxidative phosphorylation. Give the number of ATP molecules produced by each type you mentioned in above. Substrate phosphorylation 4. Oxidative phosphorylation 28. Define fermentation. Define fermentation. Method of ATP production in absence of oxygen. Name 2 major types of fermentation and mention organisms that carry out each type. Ethyl alcohol fermentation and lactic acid fermentation, organisms. Ethyl alcohol fermentation, many bacteria and yeast. Lactic acid fermentation, certain fungi, bacteria. Lactic acid bacteria. Part C. Part C. What is respiratory quotient? It is a ratio of the carbon dioxide evolved to the volume of oxygen consumed. What is the respiratory quotient? Fatty acids are used. 0.7. Name the respiratory, name an apparatus which can be used to determine the respiratory quotient. Respirometer, nattang respirometer. Respirometer or respirometer. Next one people, briefly explain how the respiratory quotient can be determined using reading from the above mentioned apparatus. So this procedure you have to write. This procedure you have to write. Right? This procedure you must write. Briefly explain how the respiratory quotient can be determined. Respiratory quotient. How do you measure that oxygen level, volume and the carbon dioxide volume? So you set up this apparatus. One with KOH, the other one without KOH. Right? So the one with KOH is giving you oxygen volume. One without KOH is giving you the difference of the carbon dioxide absorption and carbon dioxide release and oxygen absorption. So by taking the difference, you can take people carbon dioxide volume. So this is what you have to mention there. It is process practical part is okay, people, right? You have to study that. You have to study, right? Practical procedure. So let's check that part, people, right? Set up two respirometers at equal weight of 25 grams of germinating seeds. Fill one ignition tube with KOH solution, other with water. Insert these ignition tubes into two respirometers. Mark the apparatus as make the apparatus airtight by applying Vaseline or clay. Keep the flask of the respirometer in water bath. Level of the colored liquid column A and B using C stopper. Note the initial position of water columns. Start the stopwatch. Observe and record changes in the water column after 2 hours. Calculate the volume of oxygen used and volume of carbon dioxide released. Right. Then we move, people, for the second question. Second question. About how many years ago did life originate on Earth? 3.5 billion years ago. 3.5 billion years ago. Name 3 gaseous compounds which are found in first atmosphere of the Earth. Nitrogen and its oxide, carbon dioxide, methane, ammonia, hydrogen, oxygen. Little amount of oxygen, right, people? Little amount of oxygen. Then moving to next page. Moving to next page. What is the presently accepted theory? Theory of biochemical evolution. Based on which process does the above mentioned theory arose? Chemical and physical process of the early Earth. Based on which process does the above mentioned theory arose? It's chemical and physical process of the early Earth. And then people mention the conditions of the early Earth. Mention the conditions of the early Earth. Atmospheric conditions of the early Earth facilitate the abiotic synthesis. And then polymerization of the above small organic molecules lead to formation of organic macromolecules. Macromolecules packed into membranes to produce protocells. Nucleic acid gain replicating ability which made the inheritance possible. So these points are, people, coming straight away from theory. Right, people, indicate 4 factors that favored the abiotic synthesis of organic molecules on Earth. Volcanic eruptions, extreme UV radiation, hydrothermal vents, alkaline vents. What is primitive soup? Early oceans which were solutions of organic molecules. What is a protocell? RNA accumulated lipid bounded vesicles. What was the compound that act as early genes and enzymes? RNA. What is the first group of photosynthetic organisms originate on Earth? Cyanobacteria. Cyanobacteria, right? And give the reason for each of the phenomenon given below. Oxidation of Fe+2 in early Earth. This is release of oxygen by photosynthetic synthesis of early organisms. Acceleration of origin of the chloroplast. Increment of atmospheric oxygen level. State the major events occur during each of the following time periods. 2.7 billion years ago, what we said, people? Origin of photosynthetic organisms. 1.8 billion years, origin of first eukaryotic organism. 700 billion years, evolution of spongy. 365 billion years, formation of earliest tetrapods. Write 2 special phenomena that occur when animals started to depend on algae. First, food chains formed. Then functional food webs formed. Functional food webs form. State different events related to the plants that occurred in Paleozoic era. Different events related to the plants that occurred during the Paleozoic era. diversification of vascular plants took place. Extensive forest of vascular plants formed. First seed plant appeared. Diversification of early vascular plants. What was the first group of animals that began terrestrial life? What was the first group of animals that began terrestrial life? Arthropoda, neda? Arthropods. Arthropods. State the eon and the era during which the first seed plant appeared. Phanerozoic eon, Paleozoic era. State the three events that took place in Mesozoic era. Three events occur in the Mesozoic. Dinosaurs evolved and radiate. Origin of mammals. Cone-bearing plants dominated. Gymnosperms continued as dominant plants. Flowering plants appeared. Neither. Indicate the era of the following events. Dominance of angiosperms, Cenozoic era. Diversification of vascular plants, Paleozoic era. Origin of most present day group of insects, Paleozoic era. State the two principles of Lamarck's theory, use and disuse, inheritance of acquired characters. Who introduced the theory of natural selection? Darwin and Wallace. What are the processes of natural selection? Overproduction, variation, competition and survival of the fittest. Natural selection. State the favorable characteristics of animals exhibit for survival and reproduction according to the theory of natural selection. Are these points also given? Escaping from predators, tolerance of physical condition, obtaining food, resistant against diseases, fertilizing probability, number of offsprings produced. Number of offsprings produced. Right? Number of offsprings produced. Right? I think that's all for the paper. Neither. Favorable characteristics of animals exhibit for survival. Right? Then people, essay questions. I'll give you the marking scheme and we are going to mark your paper for the essay. So you have to submit your essay papers, right? And I'm expecting people the papers on. Saturday, right? So then bring the papers when you are coming to the class on Saturday. And with that, people, we are coming to the end of our today's discussion, right? So thank you very much for your participation, and I'll be seeing you people once again on Saturday, same time, 7:30. We'll meet in the class. Okay then, bye bye, see you.